This is NNC, Neural Newscast, online at nnewscast.com.
Live from the Neural Newscast Global Information Center, I'm Andrew Lindbeck. Today is September 8th, 2025. On this day in 1900, hurricane force winds up to 120 miles per hour struck the Texas Gulf Coast, killing more than 6,000 people and all but destroying the city of Galveston. A closer look at policy and politics. France's government falls after Prime Minister François Bayrou loses a no-confidence vote, prompting coalition talks. Let's hear from Cassandra Joyce.
France's government falls after Prime Minister François Bayrou loses a no-confidence vote, 364 to 194, in the National Assembly in Paris. President Emmanuel Macron now faces naming a new prime minister and cabinet. Supporters of the motion argue Bayrou's agenda stalls growth and mishandles budget pressures. Allies counter that his reforms need time and say opponents exploit public frustration. Markets and EU partners watch closely as coalition talks begin, and Parliament weighs competing paths for stability and reform.
Brazil's coup trial of former President Jair Bolsonaro has deepened political divisions and spurred mass demonstrations nationwide. Daniel Grove reports on this story.
Brazil's Supreme Court opens a coup-related trial of former President Jair Bolsonaro, sharpening political divides. Prosecutors allege he tried to overturn his 2022 loss to President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. Bolsonaro denies wrongdoing and calls the case persecution. His supporters frame it as a witch hunt, one perspective in a broader debate over judicial power and election security. Critics argue accountability protects democracy. The proceedings test Brazil's institutions and public trust, while protests and counter-protests reflect ongoing discussions over legitimacy and the rule of law.
As the trial of former President Jair Bolsonaro nears a verdict, thousands rally in support and opposition. Let's take a look at world news. Gunmen opened fire at a Jerusalem bus stop, killing multiple commuters and prompting heightened security measures. Monica Kellen joins us with the latest.
At least 6 people die after gunmen opened fire at a bus stop in Jerusalem. Police call it a terrorist attack and say officers killed the assailants at the scene. The shooting targets commuters during a busy period, heightening fears of more violence in the city. Emergency crews rush victims to nearby hospitals, and authorities secure the area. Officials do not immediately release the attackers' identities or motive. The government increases patrols at transportation hubs and warns of possible copycat attacks. Police urge residents to remain vigilant and report suspicious activity.
Israel's Supreme Court rules Palestinian prisoners are not receiving adequate food and orders remedies. President Joe Biden issues a warning to Hamas as Israeli forces expand operations in Gaza City. Analysts say Russia times large missile barrages to send political signals around diplomatic moments and aid decisions. Updates from the business world. Argentina's markets plunge after Buenos Aires voters rebuke President Javier Milei's party in provincial elections. Reach, owner of the Mirror and Express, will cut more than 300 jobs as it shifts to digital subscriptions. Remittances to Latin America are rising as deportation fears spur migrants to send more money home. Daniel Grove has the latest.
Remittances to Latin America surge as deportation fears rise in the United States. Money transfers to Guatemala, Honduras, and neighboring countries jump in recent months, totaling several $billions. Undocumented workers say they are wiring extra cash now, before enforcement tightens. Families use the funds for rent, food, and school fees, propping up local economies. Economists note remittances can exceed 20% of GDP in some Central American nations. One migrant says, "I send more while I can," highlighting urgency and uncertainty.
This is NNC, Neural Newscast.
Tech stories shaping our future. A former WhatsApp security chief sues Meta, alleging the company downplays messaging vulnerabilities that could affect billions. Kara Swift reports on this story.
A former WhatsApp security chief sues Meta, claiming the company risks billions of users' messages. The lawsuit filed recently alleges Meta downplays security flaws that could expose private chats. Meta pushes back and denies the claims. WhatsApp touts end-to-end encryption for more than 2 billion users. The case raises questions about trust, transparency, and how big platforms handle security. If vulnerabilities exist, personal and business communications worldwide could be at stake. As the lawsuit proceeds, users want clear answers. This is Kara Swift for Neural Newscast.
From the Science Desk, here's what's new. Researchers say strong tides are accelerating melt beneath Antarctic ice shelves, raising sea level concerns. I'm joined by Nathaniel Cohen.
Powerful tides speed the melting of Antarctic ice shelves, accelerating sea level rise. New analyses show strong tidal currents push warmer, saltier water beneath floating ice, eroding their undersides. Ice shelves act as buttresses for the continent's glaciers. When they thin or collapse, glacier flow speeds up and adds more ice to the ocean. Researchers link regions with the largest tidal ranges to faster melt rates and deeper channels under the ice. The finding helps improve sea level forecasts this century and highlights vulnerable coastal communities worldwide.
Scientists say TRAPPIST-1e, 40 light-years away, may have conditions suitable for life, making it a target for telescopes. I'm joined by Amelia Richardson.
Scientists say TRAPPIST-1e, an exoplanet 40 light-years away, may have conditions suitable for life. The rocky world orbits in its star's Goldilocks zone, where liquid water can exist. New analysis points to a nitrogen-rich atmosphere, similar to Earth's, with little methane detected. TRAPPIST-1e circles a cool red dwarf every 6 Earth days, receiving modest stellar energy. Researchers caution this is not proof of life, but it strengthens the case for habitability. One calls it a promising target for future telescopes.
Scientists have filmed a new deep-sea snailfish species nearly 2 miles beneath the Pacific surface. Lydia Holmes has more on this.
Scientists spot a new deep-sea species 10,000 feet down off California, the bumpy snailfish. The small, gelatinous fish features knobby skin and delicate fins, a surprise in a realm known for predators. Researchers use a remotely operated vehicle to film it in pitch-dark waters. The find expands understanding of how fish adapt to crushing pressure and cold. It also highlights the Pacific's hidden biodiversity and the value of deep ocean exploration.
Turning to the environment now. EU companies are turning to AI tools to automate greenhouse gas reporting, while auditors urge human checks. Researchers have developed a tiny chip that can sort and count nanoplastics, improving pollution monitoring possibilities. Stephen Summers is here with more details.
Scientists unveil a tiny chip that can sort and count nanoplastics, offering cheaper, portable pollution monitoring. The new method detects particles smaller than 1,000 nanometers, a scale too small for many labs. Researchers say it handles mixed samples and delivers rapid counts. That helps cities track contamination in water and food. It could guide regulations, prioritize cleanup, and improve health studies on exposure, especially in low-resource regions. This is Stephen Summers for Neural Newscast.
Let's dive into the latest in politics. 2 Republican senators have launched an investigation into the government response to the Palisades fire in Los Angeles. Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba resigns, setting up a leadership contest in the ruling party. Monica Kellen reports.
Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba resigns, triggering a leadership race in Tokyo. His exit follows months of internal party pressure and weak approval ratings, not a parliamentary defeat. Lawmakers from the ruling Liberal Democratic Party now prepare a vote to select a successor, likely within weeks. Supporters call a reset necessary to revive economic reforms and coalition discipline. Critics warn rapid turnover can slow policy on defense, demographics, and energy. Both views reflect ongoing debates, not a consensus on Japan's path.
Digital breakthroughs and discoveries. Whistleblower claims against Meta raise questions about WhatsApp security and platform transparency. Exploring the latest in science. Strong tide-driven melt beneath Antarctic ice shelves is speeding sea level rise, scientists warn. That concludes our headlines for this episode of NNC Daily News.
That wraps up today's journey through time on NNC, Neural Newscast. Discover more stories and daily news episodes at our website, nnewscast.com. Neural Newscast fuses real and AI-generated voices for fast, quality news. AI creates, humans review. We aim for accuracy, but errors can happen. Verify key details. Learn more at nnewscast.com.